Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Swat Connection with the Glee Comic Book Roundup. We've covered this week's X-Men books as well as a few others. Now it's time to keep going. Kicking things off, we've got Murderworld Wolverine. So where we left off in the Murderworld one-shots, the remaining competitors had found what appeared to be a cave. Some of them went in the cave, others did not. And that night, Arcade announced all of the competitors that once a sizable number were in the cave, at least not sure it was that night or not. Arcade announced that there were 3 assassins among the competitors, assassins that he had personally inserted within the group. And then declared lights out. So he opens as the announcements are being made about the assassins and whatnot. Our new focus is on the man now formerly known as Leapfrog. But once the lights go out, of course, people just kind of go after each other. But a handful of the competitors make it out of the cave. And as they continue through, they're attacked by Wolverine. Well, basically a Wolverine LMD that's programmed to just say Bub. But turns out that Wolverine in his astonishing X-Men era costume isn't the only Wolverine LMD present. We've also got a Dark Avengers Wolverine, a Laura Wolverine in her current costume, a Krakoa era Logan Wolverine, Weapon X, and an Old Man Logan. Eden loses part of her left arm, and the Wolverines make it into the cave, continuing to go through everyone that's in there. Black Widow talks to the Hydra informant of hers in Madripoor and learns that while yes, Arcade has rented facilities from Hydra previously, at present time he is not renting from Hydra. And in all honesty, Hydra's not too keen on renting to him because, well, they make efforts to try and surveil him, if nothing else to get a look at his tech, but he cleans everything out. He cleans up after himself. But we learn there's a former intelligence operative among the contestants, one Marina Komarova. She is among the survivors. She actually did not go into the cave. She's actually among the survivors, Lager's survivors, and she meets with the survivors from the cave. And there's an arrow pointing them in the direction they're supposed to go. The snow is cleared, but now there's 10 doors with chairs in front of them. The next challenge is to sit down in front of sit down in the chair in front of the door, and basically get your BPM down to 60. Seems 2 of them, most of them make it, 2 of them don't. They go through the doors and end up at the Murderworld amusement park. And I should be noted that Marina Komarova has a first aid kit with her. And Vince, formerly known as Leapfrog, is trying to convince her to help to use the first aid kit to help Eden. But Vince does a little bit of looking around and discovers the hall. They manages to find a means of getting through the holographic boundaries into service tunnels. This leads to giant pinballs being used by Arcade, but once they're in the tunnels, well, there's no surveillance, and so the first aid kit Marina uses allows the use lets the others use the first aid kit on E. But Arcade's plan is sending in scissor drones and murder bots to take out these their ingenious competitors. It figures they'll be dead in less than 2 minutes. And that is where the issue ends. These are definitely getting interesting. I think that the next one will feature Moon Knight murder bots, so that'll be fun. Moving on though to our next book, we've got Doctor Strange False Sunrise, number 3. Where we left off, we learned that Doctor Strange is helping a mystical being deliver a child, and because of that his I want to say soul. I don't necessarily want to say soul, but an aspect of his has been sent to another world during while he's performing delivery, where he is encountering various mystical trials and encountering all new allies. Over the course of this, Strange escapes from the realm of the evil god that the portion of this reality that he's in, this part of him is in, is ruled by an evil god. And he manages to escape that evil god, he eventually makes it to safety. And we learn that the evil god ruling over things, Bythos, is actually related to Sophia, the entity whose child Strange is delivering. And one of his new allies is in fact Sophia's first child. But Strange is continuing on attempting to birth a child. But apparently Yalda wishes to avoid being an unwilling sacrifice to Bythos, preferring to make the sacrifice of herself willingly. And with renewed understanding of what's going on, Strange opts to continue with the task at hand. So this is the series is interesting so far. But there's a variety of reasons why I have to say that this honestly would have been better released in a single volume as like an original graphic novel rather than a 4-issue miniseries. the art's beautiful. Don't get me wrong; it's stunning to look at, but it doesn't. It does not work well in a serialized format. Also, the the overall story has chapter breaks that are not the beginning of the beginning and end of the issue. So yeah, like I said, this is something that would have worked a whole hell of a lot better as a single volume graphic novel rather than a 4-issue miniseries. It's still good, but I wouldn't recommend buying it until it's been collected into a single volume. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Midnight Suns number 5, wrapping up the video game-inspired miniseries. Where we left off, the Midnight Suns were in Valator's realm, and was discovered that Valator was dead. And the member of Agatha's coven, whom Valator had taken prisoner centuries ago, was going after Agatha and Eve LeBeau. And is, well, more than a match for her. We get a brief flashback to shortly after Eve's birth. Agatha brought a Roman doll from that belonged to the royal family of Carthage to baby Eve, but well, the gift is turned away, as is Agatha, with the suggestion that perhaps she should go and peddle her wares with the go and try and talk with the Minorus instead. So, in Valator's dimension, the Midnight Suns are starting to note that the mists of Valator appear to be corroding their mystical, appear to be harmful to them, and the mystical armors that they're all wearing are only existing for a limited time. But Spirit Rider knows something's going on with the spirit of vengeance is crying out and feeling conflicted, but she's able to basically jump realities into another reality's version of herself, and is joined by Nico. Well, that reality is Nico, as well as Eve and Agatha make the vision that everybody sent out the vision everyone saw, and rather 3 hours ago, Valator began his assault on the world, but because of what Spirit Rider, because of Kushala dimensional shenanigans, the Midnight Suns are able to get to back to Earth, and they wade through the mist demons. Their armors are able to allow them to do that, and corrosion is seemingly stopped by Agatha, as well as Eve destroying the mirror. Clea shows up and asks what happened. No, Magic is a little dismissive of her, but turns out that Corrosion survived and has claimed Valator's realm for her own. The Midnight Suns return to Strange Academy, and while it seems Agatha sacrificed herself, a significantly younger, at least in appearance, Agatha has now appeared, claiming that she will make the future. That is where the series ends. Yeah, I really should have known better than to pick this up. Video game. Well, to be fair, the Marvel Spider-Man video game tie-in series, those were actually pretty decent. So I guess I had I had higher hopes than I probably should have. Though the experience of reading this definitely did influence my decision to not bother with the Gotham Knights tie-in series. I get the feeling that I'm really not missing much there. Moving on, though, to our last film, we've got Miracleman: The Silver Age, number 3. This came out near the end of the last couple weeks of last year. Where we left off, Dickie Dauntless, young Miracleman, after an unwanted advance from Miracleman, left, and he apparently and the issue was with him crashing down the Himalayas. He's as he's unconscious, he's having dreams, or perhaps being spoken to by the spirit of Kid Miracleman. But a mountain climber comes upon Dickie's body, wakes him up, gives him a thermal suit, and basically Dickie opposite join his man who just rescued him. They're found by a couple on a hover bike, offering them a lift to the closest traveler's house in the mountains. Two being Metamaid and Deadlock the Demolisher. Metamaid immediately takes a liking to Dickie. Turns out that Dickie's new traveling companion is looking for Caxton. He's told that Caxton's up the mountain somewhere. Metamaid and Deadlock have a bit of a falling out, and once again, while Dickie sleeps, he's having dreams, supposedly, of young Miracleman. But they continue their way up the mountain. Metamaid ends up joining them. They arrive at Caxton's. Turns out Caxton is, in fact, was the first person that got modified by Miracleman. Going through the modification process, not like sharing his power or anything. But he was Mr. Master, and we get a little bit more of Metamaid's backstory. Just she was partying in New York, met Deadlock, and Deadlock used the line, "Hey, you want to go? You want to see the sunrise over the Himalayas?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." But eventually, Mr. Master went to Miracleman and said, "Hey, you got any gold kryptonite?" Explaining what gold kryptonite was. Gold kryptonite is one of the various forms of kryptonite, and the whole idea is that if Superman exposed himself to it, he'd lose his powers for good. But so yeah, he tries to live a simple life as he possibly can. That night, Dickie has another dream of with Kid Murderman basically saying that someone has to finish what he started with the destruction of London. And Kid Miracleman thinks that someone is Dickie. But Dickie's able to tell him to is able to influence the dream himself. It's not entirely clear if it's an actual echo of Kid Miracleman's spirit or if it's just Dickie having bad dreams based on learning about what Kid Miracleman did. But that is where the issue ends. I guess this is definitely it's a hell of a book so far. We're at the halfway point, so 3 more issues to go. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.